Shells on the Beach. Written by Maria Kay. Narrated by D. Paul Faulkner. Nightmare Hunters. A Foray into the Alps. 1. You do not have sleep apnea, Mr. Stokes. Dr. Hoffer closed the file and set it on his desk, as if to indicate the folder contained no more useful information. The middle-aged man sitting across the desk from him would have been handsome had he not looked so utterly exhausted. His name was Philip Stokes. He was 47 years old and had the air of someone who had lost weight due to a sudden illness while working 80 hours a week and getting 4 hours of sleep per night, at the most. You know, Doctor, Stokes said, when too many things go wrong at work and at home on the same day, my wife often just sits down and says, I'm about ready to cry. I think that's how I feel right now. Sleep apnea would have made sense since I was overweight, until recently. But this, you've seen my file. You were my last resort. You know, we have done a very thorough sleep study, Mr. Stokes, Dr. Hoffer said, and we have established that there are no irritants or allergens in your home that could trigger a respiratory problem. I'm not saying you didn't do your job, but there has to be a reason why, when I sleep at home, I wake up suffocating, and when I'm here, there's no problem. I swear I'm considering moving in here so I could sleep in one of those sleep study chambers. The doctor chuckled. You're not the only one. Unfortunately, Iris doesn't provide bed and breakfast facilities. Besides, I'm afraid your wife might object. Poor Lily. She's been through hell since this whole thing started. She had to move to a guest bedroom so at least one of us could get some sleep. I understand your children haven't had the best time of it either. No, Stokes sighed and shook his head. I don't know how things like that leaked out, but somehow they did, and the boys are being teased at school, being told their daddy is off his rocker. Henry came home with a black eye and a bunch of scratches. Apparently someone was picking on Billy. Your youngest. Stokes nodded. Henry stepped in. You know how schools are. Nobody bothered sorting out who started it. Billy got sent home. Henry got suspended. I see, the doctor nodded. Perhaps there is one more thing we could try. You mentioned last resort. Iris was yours. What I'm about to tell you is the last resort for those working at Iris. You will have to sign a confidentiality agreement. I thought I already did. Dr. Hoffer shook his head. That was a basic agreement we use for all our patients. For this, well, let's just say we had to borrow the boilerplate from NSA. 2. The New York headquarters of IRIS, International Research Institute of Sleep, rivaled the United Nations building in size but was far more beautiful. Its fluid lines resembled Frank Gehry's structures, but with fewer edges and sharp angles. More than anything else, it resembled a tall, vaguely cone-shaped iridescent iceberg with slightly melted edges. In daylight, it shimmered with soft shades of blue and green. By night, the color shifted into dusky silvers and purples. Philip Stokes had been to Iris many times at various times of the day and decided he liked the evening color scheme better. He came to associate the gentle hues of amethyst touched with frost with rest and relaxation he received when he came in for his sleep studies. This time, instead of taking him to one of the lower floors, where the sleep study area was located, Dr. Hoffer led him into a large, curving wing off the right side of the main building. Stokes looked around curiously. Most of the space was taken up by the Institute's formidable bureaucracy, which wasn't surprising considering Iris, in its ongoing battle against sleep disorders, sometimes delved into areas of the brain most other experts did their best to avoid. Therefore, each case was accompanied by extensive records, including various consents and releases stored electronically on the Institute's internal network. The underground server bank, Stokes was told, looked like a small town, and replicated on paper, just in case. What that case would be, Stokes could not imagine. Iris had its own bank of solar panels plus photovoltaic glazing over the entire surface of the building, plus a set of emergency generators, plus a few other precautions. Rumor had it the Institute's underground portion could withstand a direct hit by a moderate-sized bomb. Nobody knew why the administration went to such lengths, but these standards applied to all IRIS facilities around the world. When they reached the end of a very long corridor, Stokes was surprised to see a set of elevators. There was one large bank of them in the main building and a second in the center of the wing, which made sense since people from both ends of the wing could get to it fairly quickly. He wondered what was so special about the tail end of the wing that it needed yet another pair of elevators. Another backup? Dr. Hoffer swiped his safety card before selecting the bottommost button. Wow, Stokes said. All the way down, huh?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?